I never imagined quiet could feel so crushing, but after my wife's betrayal, it was all I had left to fight with. The night I found her wrapped around another man, I didn't yell. I didn't break things. I didn't demand answers. I simply walked out. I packed a bag, emptied my savings, and vanished from her life. I decided silence would scream louder than rage ever could. She wanted thrills, fire, and passion somewhere else. I let her drown in it while I disappeared. For 4 months, I left no trace. No calls, no messages, no chance for her to hear my voice again. I wanted her to feel what it meant to be erased. During those months, I rebuilt myself from the ground up. I moved to a different city, found work, and surrounded myself with people who had no idea of my past. I never told them about her or the betrayal. They didn't know about the nights I lay awake staring at the ceiling, or the mornings I woke to an empty bed. To them, I was just a man who'd left something broken behind. To me, I was surviving. Still, thoughts of her lingered. I convinced myself she'd already replaced me, maybe even forgotten I existed. That burned, but I told myself it was better this way. The hardest moments came in the dark hours, when loneliness pressed in. I'd remember her laugh when I'd tickle her ribs, or the way she'd steal fries after claiming she wasn't hungry. Then reality would hit. She had betrayed me. Those reminders hardened my resolve. She didn't deserve to know how deep the wound went. My silence became a fortress between us. Years passed. My life slowly took shape again. I wasn't wealthy, but I was steady. I wasn't ecstatic, but I was free. And freedom turned out to be priceless. I could walk into cafes, meet strangers, laugh without guilt, and sleep without suspicion. Thoughts of her never fully disappeared, though. I pictured her with the man she'd chosen, maybe married to him, maybe raising children. But my silence meant I'd never know, and I pretended not to care. Then one night, everything shifted. I was at a bar when 2 men at the table behind me started talking. They said her name, her rare, unmistakable name. At first, I thought I misheard. But then one of them sighed. Poor woman. Ever since her husband left, she hasn't been the same. My pulse froze. They weren't speaking about someone else. They were talking about her. My wife. I leaned on my glass, pretending to drink, listening. They spoke of how she'd fallen apart after I disappeared, how the man she cheated with had abandoned her within weeks, how she'd been unraveling ever since. The longer I listened, the more my silence echoed. I had thought she erased me. I believed she'd replaced me with ease. But in truth, she was haunted by the ghost of the man she destroyed. That night, sleep never came. Memories swirled with a strange satisfaction. My silence hadn't been weakness. It was punishment, sharper than any words could cut. She hadn't moved on. I had become the shadow she couldn't outrun, the mistake she couldn't bury. While I built a new life, she remained trapped in the wreckage of her choices. Weeks later, curiosity pulled me back to our old town. I didn't plan on finding her, but fate placed her in my path. At a grocery store, in a dull fluorescent aisle, I saw her. She looked thinner, older, her eyes heavy with regret. The moment she spotted me, the color drained from her face. Her lips parted, but nothing came out. The silence I had carried all those years now belonged to her. I didn't stop. I didn't smile. I didn't even say her name. I walked past, leaving her standing there, trembling, desperate to speak but unable to. And in that instant, I understood. My silence had been the loudest voice of all. She would never forget me, not because I fought to stay, but because I walked away without a word. That was my revenge.